91st birthday celebrations of Martin Luther King Jr. You see, today is also a very special day that we are meeting here at the Gandhi King Memorial Plaza. 50 years ago, your teachers must have read the note we had sent. 50 years ago today, the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi came here to this Parisar, this area, which is the Gandhi King Memorial Plaza, and it was dedicated to the nation. Now, when she came here, she said something which was, which hit everybody who was present very hard, So I'm just going to read out a very short excerpt of what she said, She said, I have great pleasure. Now, this is Indira Gandhi speaking. I have great pleasure in dedicating this plaza. And I hope it will always not only be a reminder, but a reminder which hurts. Now pick up the words. Reminder which hurts. A reminder which hurts us for our own weaknesses. Which hurts and reminds us of the gaps in our work and effort. And if in that way it can inspire us to greater effort and to greater work, I think you will have achieved a great deal. Now that's on the 21st of January, 1970. So, apart from this function which you are all attending in the morning, and we've been doing it for years now. Have anybody of you come before for this Martin Luther King? I think the Bluebells group and your Sardar Patel, you've also come. Okay. This is Sardar Patel here?
Sardar Patel Niketan.
Huh? Okay.
Vidyaniketan.
Okay, Vidyaniketan. Okay. So, in the evening, we are having a program where seniors will be talking on the 50 years of the past, 1970 to 2020. And then, Mrs. Gandhi came that day and she talked this, but she herself did a thing which was not good for the country. In 1975, on the 25th of June, she imposed emergency. Now that was a very anti-democratic thing which she did, and a lot of people were put into jails. So, we're going to, in the timeline of those 50 years, we are going to discuss on all these things which happened, which were not good for the country. Then in 1980, we had the Bhagarpur blindings. They were prisoners in jail, and they put acid in their eyes, the cops, and they blinded them. Put needles, terrible things, So we're going to remember all that because it's going to be a collective catharsis for all the people who are going to assemble in the same auditorium where you will also be there. Then there was this Nelly massacre in 1983. I don't want to talk about all these disastrous things, but there was also the Bhopal gas disaster, and that was in 84. Then we had, of course, Mrs. Gandhi was assassinated that same year, which was a terrible thing. Then we had Rajiv Gandhi's assassination. When we had the demolition of the Babri Masjid, there were Bombay bombings. Then Graham Staines was killed with his 2 sons. Then there was Godhra, there were Gujarat riots, Bombay train bombings. Then there was Kandamal riots. Then there was the Mumbai attack, 26/11. Okay? Then there was this Nirbhay Delhi gang rape, which was a terrible thing, And then there was an assassination of 4 rationalists. This happened in Karnataka and Maharashtra. You had Narendra Dabholkar, who was killed. Then you had Govind Pansare, who was killed. There was M.M. Kalburgi, a great literature. He was killed. Then you had Gauri Lankesh being killed. And then you had these mob lynchings going on, all over. Then you had that small young girl in Kashmir, the Kathua rape case, Asifa Bano. Small girl, So what I'm just trying to say, that sometimes it is good to remember these past things and introspect, So we thought this was a moment. So this were all very serious. There'll be 14 intellectuals will be speaking in the evening, and we'll be discussing all this. So now, before we go in the auditorium and have the interactive session and we walk in a procession, these flags you're holding, they represent the colors of both India and United States. You see, normally for all the functions of this kind here, we have for the Mandela Day, which we do on the 18th of July, which some of you must come. Some of you have come already for the Mandela Day. Nobody has come. On the 18th of July, we have a very grand birthday celebration of Nelson Mandela here. Okay? So that day, the High Commissioner of South Africa, or some big leader from South Africa, comes and joins us. So normally today, we have the ambassador of the United States coming and joining us, or some representative from the mission. But, for the past 2 years, now 3 years, after that Richard Verma left, that's about 3 years, 3 saal ho gaye. So we've been inviting them, but they have not been coming, So this time we didn't invite them at all, because I think the present regime in the United States does not, that is Trump, he does not honor Martin Luther King so much, So there's no point in taking a no every time. So we didn't just invite them this time, So you don't have the US ambassador with us today. I just wanted to tell you that. Normally we always invite the ambassador to join us, and he speaks to you. So, okay, now I just want to tell you a little bit, just few minutes on the importance of this place where we are standing. Apart from that, then you have these 2 stones here. They have come from down south, from Tamil Nadu, and they came in 1970, on which one you have the saying of Martin Luther King, and on the other you have Mahatma Gandhi. So, these 2 stones, they are the only sacrosanct kind of thing here, which represents these 2 great world leaders. Okay? So this was all designed by this Stein, who was the architect. And then he planted these 2 huge ficus trees, you see these? Okay? And then down the years, we've had a lot of world leaders coming here. We had Archbishop Desmond Tutu. So he planted that tree down on the southeast. That is an Olea africana, and that came from South Africa. That tree came also from South Africa, the sapling. That one there? It's a huge bush. And then we had our former India International Center president. He also planted a Olea africana. And the significance of that Archbishop Tutu's planting is that he planted it on 30th of January 2007. That's how many years ago? It's about 13 years ago. That down there, okay? And then we had Martin Luther King's son coming here, and that was in 2009. That was commemorating 50 years of Martin Luther King's visit to India. He came in 59. Martin Luther came, and he came on a pilgrimage, he said. He wanted to visit all the places where Gandhiji, places associated with Gandhiji's life. Because he took the message forward, to the United States in the civil liberties movement. So there would have been no Obama, there would have been no Obama as President of the United States without Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King sacrificed his life so that the blacks could rise above their, the kind of servitude, the kind of, what should one say, the kind of problems they were having, daily they were being treated so miserably, but he made them rise. Okay, so he planted a Sita Ashok there. It's on the side there, and that was on the 17th of February. It's a very small thing yet. Sita Ashok takes a lot of time. And then we had Wangari Maathai. You heard of her? Wangari Maathai, the environmentalist? Yeah. She came in 2007 there, and she planted a kadam tree. There it is at the back, there on the side. Okay? She won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. So you have these, I just wanted to mention that. Now I will ask my colleague and close associate Ramesh Bhai to sing this song with you, and then we will move into the auditorium. Now, one thing I just want to say about Ramesh Bhai is that he's been, for the past 2 years, he's been leading a mammoth yatra across the length and breadth of the country to commemorate 150 years of Gandhiji.
Kasturba and
Kasturba, both of them together. So he calls it
Ba Bapu 150.
Ba Bapu 150. So he goes across, he's been traveling and visiting schools and colleges and right across. So that, so you are privileged to have Ramesh Bhai here today. And last year, I think he couldn't come because he was in the yatra on this day. He couldn't join us. So anyway, now I'll ask him to lead you with the song. Okay.
धन्यवाद सुहास भाई। पिछली उस टाइम मैं एक पदयात्रा कर रहा था पोरबंदर से लेकर और साबरमती अहमदाबाद तक। 1 महीने की पदयात्रा थी जिसमें आप जैसे नौजवान कॉलेज के 40 लगभग मेरे साथ रहते थे 6-6 दिन के लिए। मैं पूरे टाइम पे 1 महीने तक रहा था, इसलिए पिछली बार नहीं आ सका था। अब हम मिलकर गाएंगे, जितनी आवाज़ है सब लोग गाएंगे एक साथ में, दोहराएंगे या एक साथ गाएंगे? दोहराना ठीक रहेगा, एक साथ गा सकते हैं। चलिए तो। तू जिंदा है, तू जिंदगी की जीत पर यकीन कर, अगर कहीं है स्वर्ग तो उतार ला जमीन पर। तू जिंदा है, हजारों भेष धर के मौत आई तेरे द्वार पर, मगर तुझे नस्ल चकी चली गई वो हार कर। तू आ मुझे दुलार कर, तू आ मेरा सिंगार कर, अगर कहीं है स्वर्ग तो उतार ला जमीन पर। तू जिंदा है, सुबह हो शाम के रंगे हुए गगन को चूम कर, तू सुन जमीन गा रही कैसे झूम झूम कर। नई सुबह के संग सदा तुझे मिली नई उम्र, अगर कहीं है स्वर्ग तो उतार ला जमीन पर। तू जिंदा है, ये गम के और 4 दिन, सितम के और 4 दिन, ये गम के और 4 दिन, सितम के और। ये दिन भी जाएंगे गुजर, गुजर गए 1000 दिन, ये दिन भी जाएंगे गुजर, गुजर गए 1000 दिन। कभी तो होगी इस चमन पे बहार की नजर, अगर कहीं है स्वर्ग तो उतार ला जमीन पर। तू जिंदा है, तू जिंदा है, तू जिंदगी की जीत पर यकीन कर, अगर कहीं है स्वर्ग तो उतार ला जमीन पर। तू जिंदा है, तू जिंदा है, तू जिंदा है। धन्यवाद।
privileged to have a two very distinguished academicians with us who will be judging you. And we have Dr. Malti Subramanian, who's the former principal of Daulatram College. Ma'am, can you just give her a round of applause? And then we have Dr. Denzel Fernandez, director of the Indian Social Institute. Okay?
हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। We shall overcome, we shall overcome.
Hold them high.
We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. होगी शांति चारों ओर, होगी शांति चारों ओर, होगी शांति चारों ओर एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। हम चलेंगे साथ साथ, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ, डाले हाथों में हाथ, डाले हाथों में हाथ, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ एक दिन। ओहो मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। We will walk hand in hand, we will walk hand in hand, we will walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. होगी जीत सच्चाई की, होगी जीत सच्चाई की, होगी जीत सच्चाई की एक दिन। ओह मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। The truth will make us free, the truth will make us free, the truth will make us free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. नहीं डर किसी का आज, नहीं डर किसी का आज, नहीं डर किसी का आज के दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। We are not afraid, we are not afraid, we are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। ओ मन में है shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. That we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome someday. Thank you. अगर सच्चाई और ईमानदारी पर जीने की तैयारी करी जाए तो कोई ना कोई बहाना बन जाता है। आज दलाई लामा है, दलाई लामा जी से तो अनेकों बार मिलने का मौका मिला, व्यक्तिगत स्तर पर भी वैसे भी। ये मुझे लगता है कि अगर आप एक सही राह पर चलें तो ये मौके अपने आप मिलते हैं, ऐसा मुझे एहसास होता है। सुभाष भाई ने 2 साल से बहुत सतत कर रहा हूँ, पर वैसे मैंने 2015 में बापू 150 के नाम से कार्यक्रम शुरू किया, 5 साल के लिए संकल्प लिया, और उसमें संकल्प ये था संस्था मुक्ति और निधि मुक्ति। पैसा नहीं, संस्था नहीं, फिर भी काम करना है। और आज मुझे ये 5वां साल शुरू हो गया है और मैं लगभग 22 प्रदेशों में जा चुका हूँ। बा का नाम इसलिए लिया, कस्तूरबा का भी 150 है। और आपको मालूम कस्तूरबा गांधी जी से 6 महीने बड़ी थी। तो ये सब देखते हुए पहले कस्तूरबा का आता है, पर लोग केवल गांधी पर जाकर अटक गए, जबकि गांधी खुद कहते हैं कि कस्तूरबा अगर नहीं होती तो हो सकता है कि मैं उस जगह नहीं पहुंच पाता जहां मैं पहुंचा। हर जगह इतनी साधारण महिला होते हुए भी कितना बड़ा काम किया। तो ये एक अवसर होते हैं जो मिलते हैं आपको, इनको ध्यान रखिए। मेरा सौभाग्य रहा क्योंकि गांधी पीस फाउंडेशन और गांधी निधि ने आमंत्रित किया था मार्टिन लूथर किंग को, और उस टाइम उनसे मिलने का सौभाग्य मुझे मिला। नेल्सन मंडेला जी से तो सुभाष भाई तो वहाँ जाकर भी मिले और यहाँ भी, और उनके माध्यम से मैं भी, जब उनको पुरस्कार मिला तो राष्ट्रपति भवन में भी हम लोग गए थे साथ में। तो ये अवसर जो होते हैं ये कभी सचमुच जब आप उनके पास खड़े होते हैं या उनकी कल्पना करते हैं तो एक अलग ढंग का एहसास मिलता है, और उसको अगर आप महसूस करें तो खाली गिलास में भर सकते हैं बर्तन में, या भरे हुए में भर सकते हैं। अगर हम खाली करें अपने को तो हम उसमें भर सकते हैं। दिक्कत क्या कि हम पहले से भरे हुए होते हैं, मैं सब जानता हूँ, ये क्या कर लेंगे, मैं तो एलका ढंग का हूँ। तो जब तक मैं अपना बर्तन खाली नहीं करूँगा तब तक उसमें नई चीज़ नहीं आएगी। वो विनम्रता नाम का शब्द लोगों ने प्रयोग किया। इसलिए त्यागी बनना, विनम्र बनना, सत्यनिष्ठ बनना, अहिंसक बनना, ये एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं। और उनसे सबसे पहले जो आपने आखिरी गीत में गाया, नहीं डर किसी का, अगर निर्भय नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं होगा। निर्वैर, निष्पक्ष और निर्भय, ये तीनों अगर हम साथ लेकर चलते हैं तब हमको लगता है कि हम जीवन में आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। निर्भयता मुख्य चीज़ है। गांधी ने सबसे बड़ा काम अगर दक्षिण अफ्रीका और भारत में किया तो वो था लोगों को भय मुक्त करना, भेद मुक्त करना, हिंसा मुक्त करना, भूख मुक्त करना। ये ताकत गांधी ने दी लोगों को। गांधी की सबसे बड़ी देन ये थी, और इसी के कारण लाखों लोग, चाहे चंपारण में गए लोग डरते थे पुलिस वाले से, और एक दिन में 10,000 लोग तैयार होकर कलेक्टर पे पहुंच गए जब गांधी ने कहा मैं गिरफ्तारी दूंगा, मैं माफ़ी नहीं मांगूंगा। ये ताकत इन लोगों में है, और उन्हीं से मार्टिन लूथर किंग, नेल्सन मंडेला, वो कहते हैं कि हमने प्रेरणा ली। अब सुभाष भाई।
So today the theme which we are going to talk about is it's a famous saying of Martin Luther. Saying means he even practiced it to the core, and that is injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. And this is, he says, in a letter from the Birmingham jail on the 16th of April, 1963. Okay? So just mull over it as we talk. Now I would request our student from Bluebells School International to be with us with the speech of Martin Luther King, the famous speech, I Have a Dream. Come. Just introduce yourself also, okay?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jay Malhotra and I am from Bluebell School International. And even though we face the troubles of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of oppression, sweltering with the heat of injustice, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racist, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as brothers and sisters. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the crooked places will be made straight, the rough places will be made plain, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith I go back to the south with. With this faith, we can hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we can transform the jangling discords of this nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. And when this happens, when we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every city and every state, we will be able to speed up that day when all God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, would be able to join hands and sing in the old words of the Negro spiritual. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Wasn't Jay Malhotra brilliant? Do you agree? He was very good. Thank you, Jay. And this, thank you very much. This, privilege we goes to Bluebells every year. We would like other schools also to volunteer and come up in the future years. But it's a very progressive school, and they in fact even have an Africa club, which was fighting for the anti-apartheid struggle. They went to South Africa, and they've been very dynamic in there. There's a dynamic leadership there, which leads them. So, okay. Now, I hope you have been mulling over that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Because I'm going to ask you, and then our judges are going to judge you on that. Okay? This Jay Malhotra is not being judged, okay? He is already very good. So he is not being judged. Okay. Now, do you know how far Atlanta, Georgia is from New Delhi? How many kilometers is it? How many kilometers?
Approximately 6,900 kilometers.
Okay. Any other? That's a wild guess, I say. You know, this is another thing which I have seen among youngsters. I mean, you know, it's better to keep quiet than to make wild guesses. Okay? Because, and then sometimes youngsters come out with such confidence, you know, and they come out with wrong facts with that confidence. And what's that WhatsApp university these days? Huh? It's all fake, you know, all crap going around, you know. So be careful. I'm sorry. But you know, it's exactly the double. You said 6,900? Okay, it's double. It's 12,817 kilometers. I did it on that, you know, you have that thing on the, Google, yeah. So you put both points. I put IIC here and Atlanta, the street he was there, Martin Luther. Okay. So now I'll just speak to you for a few minutes and then we'll go into the interactive. So you have Martin Luther King, one of the greatest leaders of America and one of the greatest world leaders. You see, what was driving him? What was driving the man? What was driving him? The spirit which he felt so strongly to give rights to the black people, to the black Americans. He felt that everyone, black or white, should have equal rights. The right to work, make an honest living, the right to vote, the right to a good education, and the right to use all public spaces. Martin believed in using love instead of hate to settle disagreements. He was, of course, a very influential leader, one who will always be remembered and honored by us in India. And I told you, in 1959, he came here and he said, I've come here on a pilgrimage. And then his son came in 2009. And I told you, we hosted him here. Ramesh Bhai was with me. And then we even presented him a small charkha as a little symbol to take back home. And he planted that Sita Ashok. You know, this man in his lifetime was sent to jail so many times. Okay? So anybody know how many times he went to jail? Oh, so many hands. Huh? So you've read up something and come. Huh? How many times there? You were the first. 29 times he went. And what was the shortest duration and the longest duration? No prompting, ma'am? No? You know, nobody knows the shortest duration he was in jail and the longest duration? Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. So then what happened in 1983, Ronald Reagan signed a bill declaring that the third Monday, beginning in 1986 of January, would be celebrated as a national holiday known as the Martin Luther King Day. You know, in India, we don't have this kind of concept. But in the Americans, they believe in a long weekend. So they want to combine the holiday for Martin Luther King with the Saturday, Sunday. So they go and have, there's a different kind of a country and a different kind of a civilization. Whereas we have a fixed day, 2nd October for Gandhiji. And whether it comes on a midweek, side week, or this way. So we had, when was the third Monday of this month done? January? The third Monday? It was yesterday. Okay? So they had a holiday that day there in the United States. So on the 15th of January, now he was born on the 15th. We used to have the meetings on the 15th here, but sometimes it would be a Sunday, sometimes it would be a Monday, but but we used to have it on the 15th. Then we shifted it on the 21st because we had this inaugural of the Gandhi King Plaza. So that was on 15 January 1929. He is born in Atlanta, Georgia. Martin was always taught to treat other people with respect and to settle disagreements with love instead of hate. When Martin was very young, he noticed some people did not treat others with respect. He saw that white and black people were treated differently. Martin, his family, and black friends could not drink out of the same drinking fountain or use the same public restroom as white people. Martin's best friend was a little white boy. They played together every day. One day, the little white boy's mother told Martin that her son would no longer play with him. Martin's mother explained when Martin questioned what was happening, that this was because he was black and his friend was white. His friend's mother did not want her son playing with a black boy. Martin felt very sad and did not understand why the color of someone's skin should make any difference. Martin's mother held him close to her on her lap and said, "You are as good as anyone." Martin never forgot what his mother told him. You know, here in our country, we also had this practice of untouchability. You know, the Dalits, you know, whom Gandhi called Harijans, the sons of God, the sons and daughters of God, were treated so shabbily. You know, we must understand this. That's why we have the concept of affirmative action. Okay? So now we'll go into the interactive. What is affirmative action?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Himanshu Joshi, and I'm from St. Mark's School, Mirapur.
You got it? Himanshu Joshi, St. Mark's School? Yeah.
Affirmative action is the action which is taken for to reserve seats, like we have reservation in India, to promote the people who were not supported as the upper caste ones in India.
That is according to you affirmative action. No, I'm talking about the concept. I'm not saying how it is implemented.
Okay.
What is the concept? Okay, sit down. Okay, yeah. Yeah, give the mic.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vibhor from Balbhati Public School. And affirmative action, what I believe is that any action that gives a positive change in the society. Any positive change could improve someone's life in any way, or it could improve something in the society. That I would call an affirmative action.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, there.
Shreya Sharma, Delhi International Public School. Affirmative actions are for the welfare to uplift the backward classes, and nobody should say no. That rule which is applied should be accepted by all.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, you two there. That's all. We'll go to the next one then after that.
I'm Pulak Mohanty from St. Mark's School. I would like to add to these things that affirmative action means that not only the government will provide reservations and special schemes to these caste who have left outside of the mainstream, these also means to provide them extra benefits, and this is not to be considered a violation to right to equality, which is mentioned explicitly in our constitution. Like they can have special reservation in colleges, jobs, and even promotions. So it is not to be considered as a violation to right to equality. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Name, school.
I'm Srinidhi from Balbharti Public School. I would like to say that affirmative action, it refers to giving preference to people of minority communities, not just castes, be it on the basis of skin color, gender, etc. And I feel that it provides more equity than equality. It provides them the strength to rise up from the cycle of poverty, from the cycle of discrimination, and become equal to everyone else in our communities. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. There.
Hello, everyone. My name is Manan Jindal from Delhi International Public School. And affirmative action, according to me, is action which is in which the society as well as government take part in it, and
uplift the bad deeds which have been done in the society by the people in the past. These are some positive change that we think and we should implement and bring in the society to make a better future for our present generation and future generations too. Thank you.
So this is Anhad Singh from Bluebell School International. Affirmative action, as everybody here has said, is a positive action which affects the whole minority societies or an oppressed society, right? So let me just give an example of feminism over here. Now, there's a difference between egalitarianism and feminism. Egalitarianism tends to promote equality between both genders by just giving them the equality. Feminism uses affirmative action to actually give that equality between genders, right? Feminism demands reservations. Feminism demands respect from the male gender to the female gender. It demands affirmative action. That is the whole difference between feminism and egalitarianism. So affirmative action is basically asking for something to make a positive change in a more aggressive and forward manner.
Okay, fine. Is there anybody else? Now the gentleman there, he's added a new dimension to it. I don't know, is there any reservation for women anywhere in the world?
Yes, like Scandinavian countries tend to be welfare states and they don't really have reservations per se, but they have guaranteed equal pay for equal work, and they have also, like, you cannot deny a job to a woman over there at all.
Yeah, no, that's true. Even in the United Kingdom,
yes,
women have gone to court for equal pay.
Yes,
isn't it?
Recently,
and they have gone to
quite recently.
Yeah. Okay, good. But there've been a tremendous battle in our country for reservation for women in parliament and legislative assemblies. But the vested interests have not allowed it. I mean, it should be done because, after all, 50% are women, so they must get the right to represent themselves and the general population. Okay. Now let us talk of injustice. Okay. Now he says injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Now can you give a very striking example of this from our country? A very striking example from our country of what is happening now or happened in the recent past, or you see, when some injustice happens, say in one place, okay, and the other place is miles apart, okay. I mean, if you were to travel by road, it would take days and days to reach there. But now, of course, you have technology. You guys, when we were kids like you, there was no technology. I mean, we didn't even have the computer, you see. When we were in school, we didn't have the computer. So it was a big, you guys have, you are living with technology. Every day things are moving so fast. But you have to be careful also. So anyway, coming to the point, what is so striking that you have something happening up somewhere at one end, and the whole country then rises up, and you have demos and people, coming out on the streets and all. So why are they protesting? They're protesting because they feel, I may or may not agree with them, but the point is that they feel that injustice has been done to one, and tomorrow injustice could be done to them, So give us some striking example.
I'm Kritika Joshi from ASN School. And what I believe, as you said, that I'll not be taking any sides, but when the ruling party implemented CAA and NRC in our country, we generally saw a mass protest, and that protest was then suppressed by internet shutdowns, and basically taking away the freedom of speech and expression. And that injustice is something that leads to establishment. That's the basic first factor to leading establishment of democracy. So that would mean that injustice is basically an injustice towards every other nation, that your nation could have democracy being taken away and dictatorship being established in the same way. So when the nation, or when the students of JNU, they started protesting, the way that the ruling party tried to shut them down was an injustice, was a great example of injustice, and that has been happening right now as well. And outside, when you said the killing of Gauri Lankesh and other such journalists that always used to speak about facts, that's one example. Yeah.
So I'm Vibhor, and the most striking example I can think of is the Nirbhaya case, the rape case that was Supreme Court recently announced a death penalty for the rapers, and they have granted for a mercy plea.
They confirmed. They didn't announce.
Yeah.
They confirmed. The lower court gives the thing, and then it's High Court and the Supreme Court confirms it.
And the rapers have asked for a mercy plea, for a mercy. And what I believe, rape is such a thing that is a huge injustice, and if we allow them to just get free, or even allow mercy, that would be a threat to justice anywhere in the world, because we can't tolerate these kind of crimes in the world, and we just need to do everything we can to stop this. Absolutely. So I believe that this kind of injustice should be stopped, so that we can save the lives of thousands of women out there who can be a victim of this. But we have to prevent this by giving them justice to the people right here.
Okay. Yeah.
Divya from Sardar Patel Vidyaniketan. Sir, injustice for Kashmiri Pandits. They are treated as refugees in their own country, girls raped and peoples murdered. No one raised voice against that. Why?
Okay.
After 30 years, Kashmiri Pandits did not have well settled in their own villages and in their own houses. They are just treated as refugees.
Okay, fine. Anybody else? So you have one is of the CAA and the NRC. The second is the Nirbhaya rape. The third is Kashmiri Pandits. And the fourth, go ahead.
Pratham Sharma, Delhi International Public School. I would like to continue that Kashmiri Pandits are still not considered, and they are discriminated in Kashmir, and they are still not getting a permanent citizenship over there, and they are struggling, and basically they are migrating here and there, living in camps. So this can be a threat that the Citizenship Act, which is recently going on, due to which violence is created a lot, and this can be a threat everywhere in the country and in the nation.
No, come again.
Ahead.
What are you saying? What is the Kashmiri Pandits? I'm just asking you. I want to be enlightened. Mm-hmm. What has Kashmiri Pandits got to do with the CAA?
They are exactly not. They are treated that the citizen, that they're minorities, and they are not considering that.
I think you got your facts wrong. I'm sorry. It's not, the amendment which has been brought, is to do with it first of all closes at 2014, and then it says about people in some neighboring countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, who are being persecuted, and then it names some religions who belong to that religion. So Muslims are kept out, That's why Muslims are feeling bad about it. But that's another matter. But where do Kashmiri Pandits fit in? So be a little logical, whenever you say. I'm sorry, okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Manav Bharti. I'm from Bluebell School International. So basically, the topic of injustice is a harm to justice everywhere. And I feel the biggest injustice we've seen in the coming years, and as you mentioned, technology, is that voices are being shut down. So, and I just want to make this point that technology does not mean smartphones and today's technology. Technology was even back then, but the technology back then was TVs, was word of mouth. That was the technology of spreading information. That was the technology of spreading news, spreading their voices. Nowadays, it's much easier to suppress voices than it is, because as we've seen in Kashmir and in parts of Delhi, the media blackout situation, which is so harmful, because if a country does not have a voice, if a city does not have a voice, we don't know what is happening there. And we live in Delhi, and Kashmir is, it's in the north. And we don't know what is happening there. We might get some information, but that we can't justify it, because we don't exactly get the real, what is the pictures and images of what is happening there. So I feel like the biggest injustice that has been seen recently is that voices are being suppressed in any way possible, in any way. If we try to protest, they are being suppressed. If we try to express through online media, they're being suppressed. So that I feel is the biggest injustice recently.
Can you, you mentioned about television in Martin's time, there was no social media at that time. But that time the technology was not interactive, in the sense that he would address people, television would carry it, but there was no feedback. This was not interactive. Like I'm talking to you, you can ask me, you can reply to me, and we can, interact. Okay? But your technology now is interactive, isn't it? You feel so? It is interactive?
So I also, yeah, it is interactive. It's much more interactive, and many people's voices are coming out today. If the same technology that exists now would have been back then in Martin Luther King's time, I would feel like many more people with Martin Luther King's ideology and the similar, strategies to how to, as such, express their voices, that would have been activated much more if the same technology was there. But yes, sir, interactive voices are coming up, and yes, we do have. But sir, back then also there was, a lot of interaction. It was not as much public as it is now through social media. That is the only thing. And when it's public, it can be suppressed very easily if it's public.
Good. Okay. No, you've already come in now. So is there anybody else?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Japneet, and I'm from St. Mark's Senior Secondary Public School, Mirabagh. In 1984, when Indira Gandhi was assassinated by her two Sikh bodyguards, due to their religion, in Delhi, many Sikhs were killed. Over 2,700 Sikhs were killed, and I believe that this was injustice. Because of their religion, they had to go through all this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They were not the part of her killing. So I believe that is a sort of injustice. Because of religion, we all go through these days.
That's a very valid point. She's brought in 84. And they've still not got justice. That's the thing.
There are still
and
some
in fact,
leaders
in the
Congress.
evening when we have that meeting here, in this very hall, H.S. Phulka, the advocate who's been fighting for the Sikhs, is going to address us right in the evening today. So here is a man who, out of no kind of gain, has been, though he's a Sikh, but he's been fighting for them, in the courts. And you see, the other thing which I just want to mention is that there has to be due process of law, Now that Phulka goes to the court, he brings those guys to court. One Congress leader has been put in jail, I don't want to name him, but he's been put in jail. Others died before they could be put in jail, but that's another matter. But you see, due process of law, rule of law is very critical. You can't have those, what do you call them? What kind of courts? Kangaroo courts. Does anybody know what a kangaroo court is? What is a kangaroo court? Yeah.
My name is Animesh Das, and I'm from ASN School. A kangaroo court would be one where they jump to conclusions, and It's that justice needs to be served instantly. While justice being served instantly is a good thing, but somewhere the essence of real justice is lost because all the evidence are not taken into matter, and we are just jumping into a conclusion to finish the matter as quickly as possible.
Okay. Yeah. So that's okay. So now the point which I am making is that there was a dastardly rape of a young vet, in Hyderabad, and then 4 youngsters were nabbed, and then one fine morning, in a few days, they were shot, Now that raises a lot of questions, I mean, even if they were running or something, I mean, there are other ways then, to nab them again, and if you even have to shoot, you see, you can, at extreme step, shoot at in their legs or something where they won't die. I'm talking a worse scenario, but they were shot, where they're shot to kill. You see, 4. I know it's dastardly, it is terrible to rape and then burn the body of that poor girl it is, but this kind of baying for blood, those guys may not be the guys who did it. It's quite possible, they may be innocent. I'm just taking a view. So these kangaroo courts, where the judge, that's the critical thing. The judge and the prosecutor are the same, and there's no defense. You shoot the guy. There have been terrible instances all over the world where they did these kind of things. But in our country, we want to maintain rule of law. Okay? Yeah. So, we talked about injustice. Now, as a country, now we are not talking of individuals. As a country, has there been injustice to India? Has there been injustice as a country to India? Yeah. No, I think you just relax because you've already answered. Okay? So let's give others a chance who have not answered till now. Is there been any injustice to our country? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Moksh Dargan. I'm from BBPS GRH. So the biggest injustice to our country which I can think of right now is the British rule. That was the biggest injustice to us for over 200 years. So I believe that was one of the biggest problems that we faced during that time.
You don't want to elaborate?
There is such vast thing to talk
Yeah, but
about.
say something more.
So basically all the oppression provided by the British, the Jallianwala Bagh incident, all these things were injustice provided to the citizens of the country as well as to the nationalists. The Bhagat Singh incident, he was hanged in front of everyone.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah.
My name is Divyam Jain. I am from Balbharti, Kangara. As we all know, the incident of 26/11 in Mumbai, the terrorists which are believed to be belong to Pakistan, they killed many people in the Taj Hotel, as we all know, on 26/11, which was a really destructive incident. There was a massacre in the whole country, which this is so injustice. Like they were terrorists, they believed them. They didn't have any like a heart. Like they killed so many people, and there were bombings in Mumbai, as we all know, and which were not to be accepted in India. There have to be a hard step against them.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else?
Hi everyone, I'm Yakshi Kaushik from Delhi International Public School. I want to say that India has not become a part of UN committee still after giving so much participation in the economy. So I think that is the biggest injustice that the country is facing right now.
What committee are you talking of?
UN.
No, what committee? What part of the UN you are talking of, which we are not part of yet?
Security
Council.
Security Council, yes.
Okay, why don't you say it? Okay. Yeah. Good. Sit. Yeah.
My name is Arihant Rai. I'm from Bluebell School International. So I would just like to elaborate upon the point raised by the first speaker, where he said that the British exploited India. So earlier, before the British came to India, we constituted 27% of the global GDP, and after the British left, 3%, we were less than 3% of the global GDP. We were funding. So I would just like to say that a lot of India's cultures were destroyed during the 200 reign of the British, which is, in my opinion, one of the biggest exploitation of the Indian cultures till date. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hello everyone, my name is Manan Jindal from Delhi International Public School. Even before British people came to India, we were exploited by Mughals who came from Afghanistan too. Our culture got destroyed. There were people forced to change their religion. So at that time, we can also see that Indian people were there was injustice to the people at that time too, by the Mughals.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is there's a, yeah, sit. I just want to clarify. Now we're going to history. What is the difference between the British and the Mughals when they became our rulers? What is the one single major difference?
My name is Manit Singh. I am from Bal Bharati Public School. I think the major objective of the British was to trade in India and to sell their products in India, but the Mughals wanted to establish their reign. I think this was the major difference.
What they wanted to establish?
They wanted to establish their reign and they wanted to expand their kingdom.
Okay. No, you've spoken.
I'm Shivam Gupta from Bal Bharti. So what I think is that Mughals ruled the country for India only, because they actually thought of India as their own country only. So they ruled India for India only. However, Britishers ruled India for England. They actually used Indian markets also. They used Indian resources for development of their own country. However, I believe that Mughals ruled India for development of India only. We cannot say development, but that was the major difference.
I think that he's hit the nail on the head. You see, the point which we're just talking, and things are coming out. I didn't plan this out, okay? Because this guy came and said that about the Mughals also he brought in. We were talking about the British. You see, the Mughals came and virtually settled here. There's a difference. Huh? They were not sending your money out. Where would they send? There was nothing, nowhere they had burned their bridges home when they came and settled here, So that's important. They married here, they had children here, they invested here. You see? So the other thing about India is, yeah, just one sec. We have a great assimilative civilization. Whoever comes here is assimilated. Even the British, some of them married Indians, they became Anglo-Indians. They were virtually like, they were like us. There was no difference. Yeah, go ahead.
Tanu from Sardar Patel Vidya Niketan. I want to explain that Britishers made colonies like India and many other countries, but Mughals came India to rule over our country. Britishers rule our country from Britain or in their country. They rule from their country in our country. But Mughals came here. They also do some developments in our country. Like there are many monuments that built by Mughals, but Britishers always tries to ruin our country.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikhil from Bal Bharti Public School. So basically, as the speaker said, that Mughals built everything for their benefit and Britishers did not. So Britishers had their own demerits of ruling our country, but they brought about a great amount of development as well. Like, we are a democratic country right now, at least. We have a good constitution. But if the Britishers wouldn't have been there, then we would have been still under some ruler in some provinces. And they brought about the basic language of English to our country as well. We were restricted to a few languages like Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi during that time, but English is a universal language. So that is one more thing that they brought.
Okay, fine. Okay, now we'll go to a next one then, okay? The last one. Have you heard of Macaulay's Minute? Huh? Anybody? Macaulay's Minute, 1835? Macaulay's Minute, 1835? You have Macaulay's Minute? Don't, no guesswork. If you know it, say it. If you don't, keep quiet. Sorry? Education in rural areas? No. Anyway, we don't have negative marking, huh? You would have got a negative for that. Macaulay's Minute, you know the guy, this, what's your name? Nikhil. Yeah. Now he is trying to look at positives out of negatives. You know. Now what did Macaulay? I am addressing you in English. I mean, it's a terrible thing. Ramesh Bhai always speaks in Hindi. But you know, that's our. I mean, or for me it would be Marathi. I mean, it is our mother tongue. But English is definitely not my mother tongue. But the point is that I mean, there are plus points. You can address the world. You know, you can communicate and all that. And you have a tremendous, I remember there was this director of Chatham House. This is supposed to be the big think tank in foreign affairs in London. And he came and was telling me that, I feel so nice coming to New Delhi because you speak Queen's English. You know, back home they speak Pidgin. Do you understand what I'm saying? They will speak English which is not English. They use that kind of colloquial English in London. But here, you speak Queen's English. You know, you speak properly. And then, anyway, that's besides. What I'm just trying to say is that so Macaulay's Minute talks of making us English in all, in the way we think, the way we speak, the way we dress, the way we eat, everything. But they can't change the color of our skin. So we were just, we were transformed. And that is how they used it as a medium to rule us. That's what they did. Okay, now I think we'll ask the judges to announce the winners. It's a difficult task, but I think that's it. But I would just request you, please don't. Please.
Some time to discuss.
Okay, you discuss. A few minutes. But please, I would just request you, don't make all the prize winners from one school. You should be a little democratic, okay? So that one school doesn't bag away. And in the meanwhile, I'll call. Do you think we should give a prize to Jay Malhotra for that? We should. Okay. So I'm going to. Where's the pen? I'm going to ask. We've got 3 prizes. 3. And there's no first, second, third. They are all the same. Okay, so 3. You just have to choose 3. And then we'll request both the sir and madam to come on the stage and give the prizes also. Okay? Okay. So here is to Jay Malhotra. So Jay, come here. the life of Martin Luther King. I hope you imbibe his values further. Huh? Okay, come there. So here goes. Any one of you would like to say something? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, give him the mic.
Anand Singh here. So while observing the debate,
No, there's no debate. It's interaction.
the question here, so to speak, I actually got to hear some of the few opinions presented here. And I would just like to talk about the whole idea of the British actually coming here and civilizing the natives. And one of the people actually said that we turned out a democracy in the end. Well, the fact is that we would have turned out a democracy in the end anyway. Because India is such a diverse country, and a unified India requires a democracy. We cannot have a cult of personality type of government here, where you have one dictator guiding the people what to do, right? Because we've got 22 different scheduled languages.
We're going to close now.
We've got 22 different scheduled languages. We've got Hindi, we've got Marathi, we've got Punjabi, we've got Sanskrit. We've got almost every religion of the world in India, right? So the fact is that a unified India would have turned out a democracy in the end, just because of the whole-scale diversity which India had. Yes, the British did bring democratic ideas to India, but in a globalized world travels fast.
So, as you said, the rape case in the Hyderabad, I'm sorry I'm repeating after such a long time, but as you say, they shouldn't have been shot for that. According to me, it's my opinion.
Sorry, what did I
They
say?
shouldn't have been shot for the...
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said there should have been due process of law.
Yes, sir.
We are a country where there is rule of law.
Yes, sir.
So you can't, you know what an encounter is?
Yes, sir.
What is an encounter?
They shoot the person right in front of them.
Yeah, without any
Without
due
any
process.
yes, yes, sir.
So it's high-handed.
So not only this your opinion, I'm sorry for that, but in our country, some of them think that they shouldn't have been shot for what they've done. So, but rape is such a thing which didn't let the girl who's raped to live a peaceful life.
Yeah, that's true.
The mental pressure and everything. So according to me,
The point I was making was that we are not sure whether they were the guys who did it.
Yes, sir, I know.
Everything can be trumped up. You know what they do? I was a student at St. Stephen's College, and I started, and when I went to college in my first year, I saw a lot of kids having drugs, So I, whether bravado or fool or whatever, I started an anti-drug movement. First year kid starting an anti-drug movement in that whole college. It's unheard of, But what can be done is that somebody passes by and puts a pouch of some drug into my pocket. And after a minute, the cop comes and arrests me, you were having drugs. You see, I mean, things can be done. There's a lot of, so you have to be very, very careful, and the state must be careful also. But no, because that is what is true democracy and rule of law.
So that's the thing.
Because the Chief Justice of the country, the present Chief Justice of India, said that, unless you follow the rule of law, this country cannot progress. But anything, I don't like your face, I want to kill you. It's not possible. I'm not talking of rape.
बेटा इसलिए सुहास भाई जोर दे रहे हैं, आपको मालूम यूपी या कई स्टेट में 50 से ज़्यादा ऐसे लोग हैं जो जिंदा हैं, और वो कम से कम भी कुछ लोग हैं जो 40 साल से केस लड़ रहे हैं ये प्रूव करने के लिए कि मैं जिंदा हूँ। ये कभी आपने सुना है? सबसे बड़ी घटना जो लॉ की जो बात कर रहे हैं ना, लोगों ने जमीन को कब्जा करने के लिए उसको मरा डिक्लेयर कर दिया, और वो जाकर कह रहा है मैं जिंदा हूँ, आई एम अलाइव, और कोर्ट कह रही है कि नहीं अभी प्रोसेस चलेगा, और वो 30-40 साल से चल रहा है। तो एक प्रोसेस चलेगा, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम उसको मार दें एकदम। अगर ये सिस्टम बन गया तो इनकाउंटर वाली बात जो थी वो ठीक नहीं थे। इस देश में कई लोग हैं, जैसे जोधपुर के डिटेनीज 12 साल से लेके और 80 साल तक के लोग बंद थे। मैंने 5 दिन का फास्ट किया था कि इनको छोड़िए। आप उन पर ना केस कर रहे हैं ना कर रहे हैं, तो वो मामला आप उठा सकती हैं। अब केस जल्दी हो, फास्ट कोर्ट हो, न्याय जल्दी मिले, ये डिमांड कर सकते हैं, पर ये रास्ता उचित नहीं है। अगर हमने पकड़ा किसी को और मार दिया तो फिर तो क्या होगा कि हर आदमी आँख फॉर आँख, कान फॉर कान करेगा, गर्दन फॉर गर्दन, तो हम सब लोग अंधे बैठे होंगे, सब लोग काने हो जाएंगे, सब लोग। वो सवाल उस पर है, लैंड ऑफ लॉ करें, उसको उसमें सुधार लाइए, उसके लिए दबाव लाइए, मगर हम इसको जस्टिफाई देंगे तो वो ठीक।
Can just announce?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Just one sec. Now we are closing.
Mr. Suhas Borkar and Ramesh always puts us in a difficult position to judge.
पर फिर भी हमने कोशिश करी है कि हर एक की बात सुनी जाए। आई मस्ट से दैट ऑल स्टूडेंट्स आर वेरी गुड। तो बड़ा मुश्किल है इसमें, बिकॉज आई हैव बीन ए टीचर फॉर a too long a time, and I feel that every student has very good ideas, but not everybody is able to always express. Sometimes express better here, sometimes express better there. So it is actually very short-term justice here actually, talking of justice. But फिर भी क्योंकि एक प्रकार से इस फंक्शन में हमें जज करना था, तो इसलिए हम इसको बता रहे हैं आपको। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि बाकी सब अच्छे नहीं, सब अच्छे थे। सबसे पहली बात वो है। ये सेकेंडरी बात है कि इसमें हमने 3 लोगों को सोचा है कि अच्छे थे बहुत, जिनको कि बताया जाए यहाँ पर। सो वन इज़ विभोर फ्रॉम बाल भारती पब्लिक स्कूल।
Come up.
तो I'll also say why, because Nirbhaya is a very important case. इसमें एक तो जेंडर जस्टिस की भी बात है और दूसरी तरफ से जस्टिस इन जस्टिस की भी बात उसके अंदर है, क्योंकि कैपिटल पनिशमेंट सब लोगों का पहला स्टेटमेंट था कि हाँ मार डाल देना चाहिए। पर ऑन द अदर हैंड अगर आप इससे अलग होकर सोचें कि एक कंट्री में कैपिटल पनिशमेंट होना चाहिए कि नहीं, वो अलग डिबेट है, पर ये दोनों जुड़े हुए हैं। तो इसलिए ये इस पे फोकस करना, खासकर जेंडर जस्टिस, जेंडर के साथ अगर इनजस्टिस होगा, विमेन के साथ एक जगह इनजस्टिस होती है तो वो तो सारे सोसाइटी में बहुत बुरा असर उसका होता है। वेरी गुड। तो दूसरा नाम हमने चुना है पुलक मोहांती फ्रॉम सेंट मार्क स्कूल फॉर एफर्मेटिव एक्शन। इनका ओपिनियन अच्छा था क्योंकि इसमें इन्होंने ये बताया है कि ये के इक्वालिटी को एक्सपेंड करता है, उस कॉन्सेप्ट को, कि इट एक्सपेंड्स द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इक्वालिटी and also equity, and which is related to justice. So this was a good answer. और तीसरा नाम अभिजीत आरिहंत रॉय from Bluebell School. तो British rule, how it ruined
the GDP.
Yes,
very
that is
relevant.
So it was a very quantitative statement which he made, which immediately focused कि कहाँ हमारा इसमें बहुत नुकसान हुआ है। So that was a very good point, and so we have selected these 3 people. So I hope you all agree also with this. But as I said, ये सिर्फ एक temporary बात है, लेकिन असली बात ये है कि सब लोगों ने बहुत अच्छी बात करी है।
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now can you just do the honors, please? Huh? So you flashed him.
Certainly, sir.
Thank you, sir. Very good. Now all of you must take a packet of snacks with you, because it is, I mean, we have kind of managed to get something. We don't waste it. Please take it with you,
जरूर
Yeah.
लेकर जाएं।
The small packet.